Hello, people. We are back at To The Podcast, episode 213, and we are back in the building. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, Tosh, the co-host.
Kung Fu Panda over here.
The co-host with the most.
Yellow belt Tasha over here.
If it was a superhero, what would be your move? Like you know how when the Power Rangers show up, they all like do something or like
it would be my
Turtles.
shuffle step. My shuffle step.
Oh, okay.
Like,
oh yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Be my shuffle step.
Mine's would, that would be mine.
That would be so gay. Like, so corny. Like, so freaking corny.
We back.
Like, we back for another episode of us. Y'all know who we be. Y'all know where we be at. All them platforms. Type us in. Pop us up. Fuck with us. We'll mess with y'all. Like, subscribe, share, engage, comment, all that good stuff. Which some of y'all do, and we appreciate that. Let's get right to it. How are you?
I am doing great. All right, one more question. What would be our gang sign?
I don't do that. No, we don't do gang signs.
I didn't mean like an extra.
Let's stay focused.
Okay. I am good. I feel good. I'm blessed by the best, and I'm loved by the best. Mentally, I'm a 9. No, I will admit. I feel good. Nothing is wrong per se. Just things on my mind. Some things going on with me. Some things going on with my husband. Nothing bad. But I would be lying if I didn't say it was like in the back of my mind. So that's all, that. Financially an 8. Just extremely blessed and grateful. And work is a 10. Work is really good. I was on one meeting today and somebody was on another meet. I've been on meetings all day. Like literally my first meeting was at 9 a.m. and my last was from 3 to 4. And somebody messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm on a meeting with blah, blah, blah. And they're talking about you." She's like, somebody mentioned how great of a speaker and presenter you were. And I don't know who, I'm not a part of that meeting, so I don't even know who it was, but it just made me feel good that when you ever see those memes that say people that speak your name in rooms that you're not in, I was like, wow, that's awesome. But I've been doing my thing at work, and my team has been doing their thing, and I'm just excited and looking forward to, God continuing to guide my steps. And then
that's the last time I'm with the like, this is not a commercial.
Physically I'm a 9. I feel good. I could feel better, but I'm not complaining at all. And that's that.
Cool.
How are you?
I am good. Mentally, I feel like a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel good in the head.
Your 9 is the same reason for my 9?
Yeah, like just worried about, got a few doctor's appointments. Thankful, first off the rip, that ain't nothing like wrong with me or you or, like something bad, like that's hurtful to the soul and shit like that. So just doctor's appointments and like getting older and shit like that. So just worried about them kind of things. What's next? Finances is 8. Mental is work. Work is, I be forgetting. Work is a 10. Where everything's going good at work. This job is really coming together. Lots getting done. I'm work's a 10. So everything's on high at work. Mentally, physically, I would say a 10. I feel good. My body feel good. I'm speaking about the upper half of my body. My lower half is a different.
Well, you got to speak about your body holistically. So if you average it out.
So I'm a 5.
I would say you probably a 9.
I'm a 5 up top and a 5
no,
down
you
the
mean a 10 up top. Oh, you splitting it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go 5 and 5. Yeah. And I'm going to laugh about it so it ain't nothing like, he ain't dying and no shit like that.
Of course not.
So yeah, wows and woes, ups and downs, stops and goes. What you excited about? What you down about?
I am.
What's poking your craw?
I want you. Never mind.
Well, no.
Yeah. I don't don't have any woes per se.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, I don't have any.
You're not supposed to make up a woe.
No, I'm not. But I was just trying to make sure I wasn't overlooking anything. The world and the state that it's in, we all could have a woe is me day, but I'm choosing not to focus on that. So yeah, I don't, have any woes. I'm claiming good health. I'm claiming, all good things. My wow is just being loved, being alive, being in my right state of mind, being able to see, being able to think for myself, being married, being an aunt, being a sister, being a friend. So just being a child of God is my woe.
I never heard it quite put like that. Don't do that no more.
Sorry.
I told you last time, don't do that no more. It's corny, babe, for real. Okay. Don't do that no more. Like, it's trying to cut scenes up and shit. Stop doing that.
Okay, but yeah, it's just being, that's my wow.
Never heard it quite put like that before, but yeah, that's very intelligently put.
Thank you. And what's your wows and woes, if any?
My woe is I don't have no woes. Just living. Life is good. Well, I got a little woe. I don't like to complain. Mm-hmm. So my woe is just I'm injured, y'all. I'm injured. I injured myself, and I got to get fixed. And that's my woe. I'm afraid. I'm scared.
I love the honesty.
Yeah, I'm petrified, to be honest with you. I got to get a little minor surgery, and yeah, I'm petrified. I ain't never been put to sleep before. I ain't never had no type of doctors poking and probing on me like that. And so, yeah, I'm just a little trepidatious, a little wary, apprehensive, all those things that encompass anxiety. So
what have I always reiterated to you?
A lot of things.
What can't coexist?
Faith and anxiety.
Faith and fear.
Faith and fear.
So you gonna trust God or you not? Do you trust him?
Yeah, you gotta put me on the spot like that. I'm just trying to share my feelings.
No,
Jesus Christ.
I 100. I said I respect your honesty.
But I wasn't done.
Okay,
there you
I'm
go,
sorry.
Like butting in my feelings.
Mr.
Sharing.
Butt in. I'm sorry.
My sharing feeling.
I appreciate you sharing.
So that's all I'm saying is that I'm where I'm at. You trying to put yourself where I'm at. I'm at where I'm at.
You are where you are.
I'm where I am. Where I am. I'm gonna be where I be.
I am what I am.
But that's what what's on my mind is just the fact that, yeah, I injured myself and I got to get fixed. So, been trying to lean on her for advice. She's been operated on 5-6 times and, just try to get some insight into what's going on here. Because I don't think you should have operations if you're scared, but doctors say you should anyway.
Yeah, because
if you need them.
Yeah, I was about to say.
At least that's what Google said. I thought Google was going to say no, you should not have minor surgery if you're scared or anxiety ridden, and it clearly said yes, you should.
Because I think it's something wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some people may go into it not as fearful, even though I've had surgeries many times, as you said. I may not show it in a way that you do because it's your first time. I'm always a little frightful in my mind, not of the procedure, but just anesthesia in of itself. And I think people who go into it, not something wrong.
No, but it's almost like it seems like just outside looking in, like it's fighting. Like a person would be scared to fight every time or a little trepidation about fighting, although they did it before. Mm-hmm. But it's still like, oh shit, I gotta fight. Mm-hmm. So, that's how I'm, the analogy I have for it. That's how I see it.
I got your back. I'm going to be here. I'm going to do whatever, I don't want to, and I'm saying this on camera, I don't want to fight with you because while surgery, is what it is, recovery and allowing your body to recover is the most important piece.
I understand that. This is minor outpatient surgery.
I understand that, but you're being put to sleep. Your body is being operated on. Your body is being cut. Your body. We talk about how we are like as humans so fleshy. I'm not going to argue with you about trying to hold you down or nothing. I just want you to be mindful. of your
I
limitations.
know my body and I know my limits, and if I reach my limit, then.
But you don't know your body after surgery because you've never had surgery.
It's gonna talk to me.
Okay.
Yeah,
I hope you listen.
Yeah, it's gonna talk to me. I'm not gonna ignore it.
Cause you know I'll call. You know who I'll call?
The lady.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll tell them you.
All right. That's cool.
Okay. And I appreciate your transparency. I know that's been on your mind, but I know you also are trying to like push it to the back of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But these are people.
It felt good to say it.
Yeah.
I got injured. It's impeding my gym and my workout, and yeah, I got to get fixed.
But we don't know for sure that you got injured. Like it could have been something that's been there, and now it's just manifesting itself because of all of the great progress you've done in your work and your weight loss. But it may not have been something that.
Because that's the thing. I don't remember being injured. Don't remember being injured.
But I do remember there was always a time in our relationship, always, where walking long distances bothered you.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know why. Like we would go to Cooper, and it would be like you would have to take a pause. Walking long distances had always bothered you. Now the other stuff has come along with it, and you're gymming and losing weight. But that's why. You're gymming. I made it a verb. Let me have it. And you're gymming, and your weight loss, it has manifested itself and become more prominent. But I don't know necessarily that you did something to injure yourself.
I think I did. I just don't know what.
Okay.
But yeah.
What's your wow?
My wow is that I'm trusting God and I'm gonna get fixed. Mm-hmm. That's my wow. I trust in God and I'm gonna get fixed. And I trust that you won't, let nobody do nothing to me, put a microchip in me, do some wrong shit to me, like play with me or just be mean to me, be too nice to me, like too nice. So
I'm not gonna let them put a microchip in you. I'm not gonna let them play with you during surgery. I mean, I'm not gonna
being too nice.
Yeah.
And especially don't be mean.
No, I'm definitely not gonna let them be mean, babe. There have been instances where you've been in the hospital twice where they wanted to send me home and I shut it down. I'm not going home. I'm sleeping here.
But we got a different type of
sleeping
shutdown,
here.
though.
But my shutdown,
your shutdown is more quiet and stern.
Standing on business. I might be quiet, but they know not to play with me. Your shutdown is, the end result is the same. We get our point across, but you're not gonna play with me when it comes to my husband.
My shutdown is what?
Like,
like I take the bricks out this hospital and go home with them if y'all don't let me up there.
And my shutdown is, I don't have no rap, but y'all heard what I said.
I take all the doors off this place if y'all don't let me up there.
Yeah, you see, I ain't go home every time they tried to send me home.
I'm thankful for you. I appreciate you.
I love you.
And I love you.
I love you too.
On to sadder notes. This Philly plane crash. It's a tragic thing, but a medical airplane, Learjet 55, fell out the goddamn sky on Cotman Avenue last Friday night around 6:15. The videos broke the internet, circulated all over the place. A day, I think was it a day? Maybe a day or maybe 2
days
after the Black Hawk hit the American Airlines plane in Washington. So it was just like a frenzy of what the hell is going on. And information that came out, we realized it was a medical helicopter that was carrying a child.
A medical plane.
A medical plane that was carrying a child, a mom, a crew. So 6 or 7 people died in the crash. It set like 13 houses on fire. Like it was just a freaking war zone down Cotman Avenue, and people died on the ground. It was a sad thing to see, being as though we from Philly. I'm sure she's been through Cotman Avenue. I've been through Cotman Avenue up in the Northeast.
We've been through that together.
Yeah, we've been through there together. And it's just like, it was just a tragic movie-like thing to see a plane whistling out the sky. Not a plane, a jet whistling out the sky like that and like putting a crater in the ground. Like that's a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. That's a goddamn Rambo movie or something like that. A Rock movie. Like, to see that shit happen and like in not in real time, but to see the videos of it, it's like, wow, I can't believe that.
It wasn't in real time, but it was shortly after you were taking a nap that Friday.
Right.
Toya sent me I think it was Toya sent me the first video, and immediately was like, when you woke up, I'm like, babe, look. You like, no, it did. I'm like, yeah, a plane crashed on Cotman Avenue, and the tragedy. Yes, the six people on the plane, the 2 crew members, the 2 medical professionals, and the mom and daughter passed away. And initially, they were reporting there was 1 man on the ground that died, who burned up in his car. However, and I understand the trepidation initially because you don't want to cause mass hysteria. But when you think about it, it makes sense. Like, how did just 1 person die? And now they are starting to speak differently and saying that we cannot yet we confirm the number of fatalities. What they said was there were 24 people in the hospital with injuries. I am hearing reports that there were a lot of body parts of people who were killed because of the crash that were on the ground. And they are encouraging
sources, like reports from where, like you say something like that, I don't want to be false information.
Well,
like from where?
So initially, we have a family member who has contacts within the police department who said how horrific the sight was when it first happened. Limited details, but just how horrific it was. And they actually said that they weren't going to go into specifics because it was so horrific. There were other people saying that, like, videos that were put out saying that they saw people on fire. And again, this is initially nothing that the news was reporting. And then, so when I talk the body parts, it somebody in comments on social media, so I can't say that I know who it is. But it makes sense because of how the city is encouraging people to come forward to report missing persons, so that they can start the identification process of DNA. Like, if you have body parts, you don't necessarily know who it is yet, and you need somebody to report the missing so that you can find out who it is. Now, I don't know if that's 3 people or if that's 30 people.
We don't know if that's true. That's some tragic shit that if that is true. I just don't. It's just it's graphic to be like they just got a stockpile of body parts. If that's not true, then that's great. But if it is true, that's super, super tragic.
There's one a close friend of mine, one of her like a third party. She knows of someone who a woman who's in the hospital, 75% of her body burned.
Yeah.
There was another picture I saw of a little boy circling, and he
10
was
years old.
Well, not him. This is another little boy who was badly burned.
Yeah, he was 90%. He was 10 years old too.
Then the other little boy who had the fragment in his brain,
who was saving
protecting his sister. So I mean, just it was a travesty. And when you look at cars burned, and it's the only silver lining I can think of. For anybody that's familiar with that area, you have Northeast High School right down the street. You have several it's a main traffic. You have, it would have been so many children outside, whether on school buses, at bus stops, at the Wendy's right there, in the mall. Like, it would have been so much more traffic had it been at 3:30 instead of 6:30. And there would have been so many more children.
I don't know about the traffic, but I think it would have been a lot more kids. But you're talking about a mall, like at 6:15 on a Friday night. I'm sure it was popping out there. Like, it was a lot of people out there.
But I'm talking about the street. You think about teachers getting off work, parents picking their schools up.
I get that. Yeah, I get that. We talking about like it's like everybody they know it hit the Dunkin' Donuts and all that stuff, but that stuff's attached to a goddamn mall. Like, God forbid that thing didn't fall in the mall, like, and knock out a whole bunch of stores, or then a lot more deaths would have been out there.
Yeah,
a lot more shit would have been on fire. Who knows? The Roosevelt Mall could have burnt down.
Yeah, like, it's a Macy's department store. So I mean, it's such. I think I've read that there were fragments of the plane up to
6 blocks.
6 blocks away. And another thing, and this is just my opinion.
I'm sorry not to cut you off, but it didn't seem like it was a control thing. Like it didn't seem like they had, oh shit, we about to go down and we got control to kind of go where we want to go. That thing looked like it just dropped out the goddamn sky. It was almost like a plane
crash you see in a cartoon.
Yeah, like it just dropped out the air.
I saw someone, and I thought this was just, kind of inconsiderate for them to post. They had posted a video of a different plane that had crashed like on a highway somewhere like a while ago. But the way the plane crashed, it kind of came down where it did look like they had control. Mm-hmm. It crashed, but it kind of landed. Yeah. And you could see visibly that it was a plane. So they were saying, this is what a plane crash looks like. And you can see this a plane. I don't think this was a plane. We don't even see any plane parts. And I said, ho. That plane crashed out the air almost vertically. It was obliterated. Mm-hmm. So to expect to see a cockpit or to see wings,
you heard it whistling out of the fucking sky.
It crashed at such a high rate of speed into the ground, it broke apart. And to try to negate that, don't get me wrong, I know the government do some hanky things and we can't always believe what's going on, but there were people on site. You could hear in the video them saying like, oh my God, that's a plane, because of us seeing it third party, like looking at videos, we may not have been able to see it, but to try to like deny what happened and people's lives are impacted. I think we just have to be more careful about having that kind of conversation.
That's where everybody shouldn't have an opinion. And if you do got that kind of opinion, keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah, you got people, babies in the hospital, hoping that their lives are saved, and people are coming up with conspiracy theories. It's not the time.
And then something like this happens, it creates an algorithm of what's going on because we're talking around these phones. And then the next thing you know on your timeline is plane crash from over here, plane crash from over there, plane crash from over here. And it's like, damn, is this, you got to think to yourself, is this just the algorithm doing what it does? Or is this a fucking thing that we have to worry about in the U.S. now, is planes crashing in the States? Because it wasn't before. Like stuff like this didn't happen I think the last plane crash like this was like 30 years ago or something like that. So it's not a common thing that we, planes just drop out the sky. People fly every day, but it makes you a little bit skeptical about getting on a plane.
Well, yes and no, but because I still think that it is not a common happening. The fact that these two incidents happened 2 days apart, but we do have to acknowledge they're completely different.
No, they are completely different, but I'm talking about in the first instance, like an American Airlines a plane was landing and a fucking helicopter ran into it.
Well, but again,
how does that not make you trepidatious about flying?
Because even when we hear about plane crashes, it's usually a malfunction of a plane. It's not like two flying objects crash. Like when we see plane crashes, even historically, that's not a common occurrence. Usually like something happened to a plane and it crashes by itself.
Right.
Like unfortunately what happened Friday. So seeing them have like a car accident in the sky, yeah, it does. So yes, to answer your question, it does make me feel like, damn, they gotta pay attention. But I think, unfortunately, when situations happen like that, it heightens senses and heightens security measures and all of that, which would probably alleviate it happening or further decrease the chances of that happening at least anytime soon.
I don't see it like that. I kind of disagree with that take because, you got 200,000 planes that fly a day out of this country and people are flying all the time, and it's supposed to be a safe area. Like the airport grid system is supposed to be no fly zone grid system where nothing is like that supposed to happen. That's how you get 200,000 airplanes a day that take off and land with no problems. How some black hawk, a military helicopter just, I'm going to fly into this airspace just because I don't know why. I ain't going to say he wanted to or whatever the freaking reason is. Yeah, I'm doing some training course. Oh, I'm just going to fly where the planes fly. That shit is absurd to me. Like, if stuff like that can happen, yeah, it makes me a little trepidatious about, okay, now when we landed on these planes, you got to look around for helicopters? are people that inept in the military to fly in a airspace of an airport to do training? Like, was that legal? Is this what y'all do on a regular? Like, these are questions that you want to know before, because again, you only get one fucking shot. It only takes one shot to crash in a plane. Most people don't live.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to go through nothing like that.
I don't think it was illegal. At least we're not hearing that the helicopter was doing something that it wasn't supposed to, except for the fact I did hear some concerns about the elevation. Like, I think it was supposed to be higher than what it actually was, but I haven't heard anything to say that it wasn't supposed to be in that area. So maybe that is allowed for, them to fly in that area, and it being a training exercise, maybe that's part of the training for them to be able to navigate. And because you think in the case of a war or something, when you need this Black Hawk helicopter, they are going to be flying amongst other aircraft, so maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but he definitely failed the test in the worst way.
That's bullshit. Like, you're not supposed to be in this airspace at all, bro. Like, and you military, you should know that.
But I think that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's a thing. I think they're not saying that he was in a space that he wasn't allowed. We would think that he's not supposed to be, but obviously...
No, I did read that he was doing a training exercise at a time he wasn't supposed to be training.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, he was doing a training exercise at a time he wasn't supposed to be training. And again, I look at it like it's a goddamn work day. This plane's flying. You shouldn't be doing training now. Like, do that shit when it's downtime. Like, when you know the airport has a downtime or something like that. But not at night when it's a bunch of lights. You want to do this, like, really, really black helicopter called the Black Hawk and fly into a goddamn plane that was just trying to land. It wasn't like the plane was out of pocket. You was out of pocket. And again, condolences to the families of the people that died. I'm not trying to put fault on nobody, but that shit doesn't normally happen. A military helicopter flies into a regular airline that's just trying to land. Like,
no, it doesn't normally happen. But it doesn't mean that they don't normally fly in that airspace. They could do it safely.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
Never know. You know what I mean?
Know,
we could potentially never know because of people who are doing it correctly. And just unfortunately, this didn't plan. I did see that they were able to pull all of the bodies from the river, all 67, which, for the families, I can't,
some type of closure.
Yeah, I can't imagine losing someone they're going but not having their body. So
condolences to all the families
in both tragedies.
Yeah, in both tragedies. The one in Philly that hit home to us is just a stone's throw away.
And it's our hometown.
Yeah, like, to all those families, the people involved, the first-hand people to see some shit like that. Like, you'll never erase that out your brain. A goddamn fireball in the sky like that you was, like, probably at a light or something on the phone talking some shit about what you about to do on Friday, and boom. Like, that's crazy. That's some shit you'll never forget. And it's just a tragedy on both sides. Grammys. It's a hell of a segue. Grammys was on Sunday. Grammys was good. I liked the Grammys this year because of the whole trying to get it right, the inclusion thing, and apologizing to some artists like The Weeknd, that whole thing he did. But I like the fact that they under new management, because for years people have said the Grammys have been so whitewashed and this and this and that. I still think it kind of was, because from the start, who opening act used to be something big, like, Michael Jackson, Prince, or Destiny's Child, like just a big act or something like that.
Who was the opening act?
There you go. My point exactly.
It wasn't memorable, but maybe
Sheryl Crow. It was John Legend on the piano and some band.
Well, I think too
that was the opening act to the Grammy. So I'm just saying it wasn't memorable to the point where you was like, who was the opening act?
I think too it made it a little different this year, because not only was it a Grammys, it also was like a fundraising effort for the victims of the LA fires. So they kind of pivoted where they had to, like, Sheryl Crow, I love John Legend, huge John Legend fan, and whoever the other guy was, they aren't artists that are like in the spotlight right now. So to have them perform again, maybe they were trying to pull at the heartstrings of a different generation but yeah, I don't think that their music was relevant to today's time. Hell, the Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga performance was amazing.
But what I'm saying is the Grammys, what usually is a the curtain comes up. It's usually a great opening act. I like the diversity in the show. I did not like Beyonce's fake shock face. That was a thing.
I thought she was shocked.
You really thought she was shocked when they called her name?
Yeah.
You didn't think all the things around her said she was going to win? Like all the clues that was there?
What was the clues?
Like, let's be honest. The fact that her presence, the fact that she was there, that means like you're going to get the award. The fact that Jay was there means you're going to get the award after what he said a year ago on stage. The fact that Taylor Swift was giving out the country award. Like all that kind of stuff, it says, hey, we know we fucked up all these years. We heard what your husband said last year. We're doing the diversity thing and changing. We said the audience, the people who voted, the 13,000 people who was voting got younger. This is, here. I'm not saying she don't deserve it, but I'm saying I'm watching it and I can see like, okay, she in the front row, her presence. If you're not going to win, she wouldn't even have been there because it would have been another time that I'm nominated and I didn't win. And I just told y'all a year ago, I'm tired of that shit. Y'all bring us here like and even last year, she was brought there and nominated and didn't realize she didn't win until the moment. So if you're going to bring me here again, me, my husband, my family, at least have us win. So that's what I saw.
I disagree with all. I don't know how the Grammys work. I don't think people only come because they know that they're going to win.
I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about specifically
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
She was there last year and didn't win, but
that's
she was
my
still
point.
There.
She was there because
Beyonce has had 99 Grammy nominations and has won 35.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm saying every time she comes, she wins. She doesn't show up at the Grammys. I watch these Grammys every year. I don't know if you remember. She doesn't
win every time. She's been nominated 99 and she's only won 1/3 of that time.
I know, and a lot of times she wasn't there.
Okay. So, I mean, so to your point.
Most of the time when she wins, she's there, is what I'm saying. Most of the time when she wins, she's there. If she's nominated and she's not there, she doesn't win.
Okay.
And that's just the track record of it.
Into it. I just thought, okay, she has an album that came out, so she's going to be nominated, so she's going to be there. Her sitting up front, I felt like that's, of course they're going to sit Beyonce up front. So I didn't take that to mean that.
Well, that's just one of the things, and it's not nothing like that. That's a debate thing. It's a fact. Like most of the times that she comes there and she's nominated and doesn't win, then she's not in presence. When she's in presence to come wherever she's coming from to be there, she expects to win. That's just the track record of it.
Okay. Again, I thought she was genuinely shocked. I was shocked. I didn't think she was going to win.
And the fact that her bodyguard was standing up before her name was called, which indicates, okay, she's about to get up too. It's like those little things nobody sees, but then when you watch it back over or see a clip of it, you're like, oh, okay. Like when Taylor Swift was saying that she didn't even crack the envelope open yet, and the dude stood up. Like that says one of them is about to move because now I'm on job. I'm on call. Otherwise, I would just be sitting down like I always was.
I didn't peep any of that. I was just as shocked as she looked. So no. I didn't peep any of that. I saw her daughter
because a lot of people thought that the face was.
Well, and I seen fake. A lot of memes saying, this is my shock look, like using that shock look and like memes for different circumstances. I thought it was so cute that her daughter was like, "Get up!" Mm-hmm. Like they were standing up and clapping, and her daughter was like, like go ahead, get up. I love Beyonce. Cowboy Carter was not my favorite album of hers. I didn't fall in line with the whole country music. I'm about to call it cowboy music. I didn't fall in line with the whole country music. I think it is amazing that she, through her efforts in having it's kind of like a double-edged sword, but the end justifies the means. Through her efforts and collaborations on her album, she was able to highlight country music stars who already were doing their thing in their own right. But just because of the star power that she has, her featuring them helped their light to shine brighter. Like Shabuzi, There were some other artists that were on her album.
Him though,
But I think he grew a larger audience. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
No, and
he's him.
Yeah, that's and all. I know you like her, and I to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I hear good things about him. Again, the country music isn't my favorite genre, so I haven't delved into his music. And even people who may have never been a country music fan, like he has had his core fans and been rocking out and doing his thing, but now it gave him and others a chance to grow a wider audience, which I think is pretty dope. That's the
one thing about Beyonce is she's a cross-gender type of artist, like a cross-genre type of artist where her range is impeccable. Those country singers, those solid country people, they only do country. Right. So no matter how much exposure she gives them, they only gonna do country slaps. And that's just it. Yeah,
but I mean, even in the country space, she helped them to grow bigger. Yeah. And again, she helped them to grow audiences that may have never listened to country, and they may have possibly have never listened to a Shaboozey song until then.
And it's also shade there. Not all of them like her. Not all of them like the fact that she won, because they look at her like, yeah, you did the album, it is good, but you're not a country singer, so you shouldn't have won the country award. Even when when you watch these clips over, you see little shit that you probably don't see in the broadcast, but when they pan over to the people that she was nominated with, two girls was just like not doing anything, like not smiling, not clapping or anything. So it's like, it's Beyonce, and they probably look at it like, because you're Beyonce, they're giving you this, but you're not a country singer. And again, she has a range where I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can rap, I can pop, I can do country and be successful at it. So don't hate. But I'm just saying, those solid country people, they don't like that. They just don't like it. And I don't knock it. I'm just saying that's a thing. That's what it is.
I hate the fact, and
it's almost like if you're a rapper, like a person who really, really raps, don't like people to kind of dip their toe in and out of it. It's like, do you really do this or do you do it?
If they come to that lane and they do it well, why shouldn't they get the accolade for it if they've truly done it well? And I hate the fact, and again, her album was not my favorite album because that style of music, I just, I liked some of the songs. I didn't love the song. I don't think I loved any of them. But I
only know Texas Hold'em,
which was my least favorite.
It's two. It's Texas Hold'em and the other one she sang at the game. I only know them two.
Yeah, because I just felt like I'm a ballad.
How many songs on the album?
I don't know, 13 or so. It's like a normal size album. I didn't know
she made 13 country songs.
Yeah, I mean, then she redid Jolene. Well, let me say, and there's
that's on there.
Jolene,
yeah, that's a pretty good song.
It just ain't my favorite. Yeah, that style of music, song melody of music is not my favorite. I am a ballad girl. I like to hear some good singing. I don't mind a little pop and all that. It just that sound of music just isn't my favorite. But if she truly made a country album that is good, I think it's sad, and it's kind of a slap in the face for people to say, oh, they just gave you this award because you Beyonce. Where it's like, what if they really feel like she genuinely made a great country album? And who's to say,
Two things could be true at the same time. She could have made a great country album, but you still can feel like, hey, I've been doing this shit my whole life and got my all into it, and I just feel away if somebody comes and steps in for 6 months, makes an album, and becomes the biggest thing ever.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying the people who are saying she only got that album, like she only got the award because they felt like, oh, well, we snubbed her in these other years, let's just give her that. Maybe they gave her, and
there's some context to that though.
Maybe they gave her the award because she earned it through her artistry, through her music, and that only the judges who granted the award would, and they probably would never admit it, or maybe 20 years from now you'll hear a documentary about it. But it's like it's a slap in the face to say, oh, she just got it because they wanted to appease her because they were tired of snubbing her, instead of like she earned it because it was a great album.
Can if somebody acknowledges the part you're speaking about, will you acknowledge the other part?
What other part? What do you?
They could have gave her the award because they felt like they owed her.
Yes, they
like
could
that's a
have.
possibility.
I know.
What you just said is a possibility.
No, I
she could have
understand
absolutely
that both,
earned it, and the album could be awesome, and she could have earned the award, or they could have gave it to her because they snubbed her for years.
I understand that, but unless we know that, I think it is a sad narrative to push to say that until we know that that's true. That's all.
Okay.
And now they were, of course, they're not going to say it now. We'll hear
about it. We would have to know if both things was true. We would have to know if they really felt like all 13,000 people felt like they liked the album, or they said, you know what, it's been years and years and years of her snubbing. We don't want to, have Beyonce not show up at the Grammys ever again, or her husband. So we kind of do our one.
And again, maybe
like if we tell this lady no again this year, like she probably not gonna come back next year.
I just wouldn't want it that way. I would want it because y'all truly felt like my artwork deserved it.
I can't knock that because you know how I feel about affirmative action. So it's like I want my shit on merit. So I agree with you. Exactly. I also like in the Grammys the new artists. So let me get my thoughts together. I like Benson Boone. I like Doechii. I like Teddy Swims. I like what was the fourth person?
The Pink Pony Girl.
I can't think of her name right now. It'll come to me. And I like Ray.
Ray, Raye.
Yeah, she can sing. She can sing. So those five was a part of the new artist look. They kind of performed right after each other.
Because they were all, that was like the nomination.
Yeah, so Swims, he got the hit song. That's a banging song. I like his voice that like he got that raspy, like he got a lot of pain in his voice. And he country too. So I like that type of.
You think that's country?
Draw. He's a country singer. He does country, yeah. So,
his albums sound more like R&B to me. He gave me like a Sam Cooke vibe.
No, he's a country guy, and he's got that draw to him too. But him, I never saw Doechii perform, but she had a great performance. She, got a little half naked out there. She's a good rapper too. Benson Boone, that was the kicker for me. Like that, I know that song, and it plays in a lot of places like stores and shit like that. But that was a great performance. I just think he was dope. That's a great. I didn't know how new he was, but yeah, that was a dope. What did you think about the new artist?
I love that whole segment of all of them performing. I'd seen Doechii perform. I don't remember if it was the Grammys, an award show last year. I don't remember which one it was. Maybe the BET Awards, but I remember her having an awesome set. It was kind of like beach chairs lined up, but just like the whole overall artistry and performance of it. And then she was, a new artist, but I just remember thinking like, wow, she gave a good show. Like almost like her on stage performance is something you would expect to see in a video, like the production of it. And I felt the same this year. I love the artistry of it. Very Missy Elliott-ish in terms of just the presence of it.
Oh, I was about to say, but okay, I can see what you're saying about the presence of it and having the people on stage.
Yeah, the artistry of it I thought was great. Like she, not just dancers, which if that's your thing, you just have dancers, like the full orchestration of the choreography in the show.
I realize her lyrics go with what she's
saying.
She's saying, like the choreography and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, so I thought she was really dope. The girl Ray, like you mentioned, her voice, I downloaded. I looked her up and downloaded.
What was that song she was singing?
I can't think of the song, but it was very theatrical. The album is very theatrical. It's like a musical album, but it's not from a musical. Yes, she gave me very much Amy Winehouse vibes.
Until she hit that note.
Yeah,
Amy never did that. Amy was dope as hell. She's a legend. Yeah, she's a legend. But when she hit that, when Ray hit that note, it was like, oh shit, Amy ain't never pull that off.
I Lose Control by Teddy Swims. My niece Aubs actually introduced me to that song, last summer. But I love that song. I like his music a lot. I didn't know he was a country music song artist. I thought he was more of like an R&B kind of soul pop, not really pop.
Jalen? What's that? That's the girl's name? The clown girl?
I can't remember her name, but I'm picturing she sing Pink Pony Ride or something to that effect.
Pink Pony Club.
Okay, yeah, but she gave a good show as well. Yeah, she gave a good show. But yeah, and Benson Boone, like I had never heard that song before. Beautiful Things.
That was your first time hearing the song?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously?
Where do I listen to music?
We've been in Target fucking 3 times and that shit's been on. It plays in Target, Walmart.
Well, we're not going to Target anymore. But...
No, but I'm just saying it plays in all those stores.
No, I had never heard
You don't listen to Apple...
like the Apple stations?
The playlist that they have. Like
I do, but it's usually like my... like, it's like a Jasmine Sullivan-ish genre. So I do, and I like the playlist
so
they
you
create
listen to the
for
ones
me.
that they curate for you.
Yes.
You just got to pick the random ones and listen to them. That's not for you.
Okay. Well, yes, but I'm checking for him now because I love new music, different music. I love good singing. Like that does it for me. Others, I like other styles of music too, but good singing does it for me.
He was very theatrical too, like with the dancing and with the clothes he had on. I like it. Yeah. I don't know how old. You know how old he is?
I don't know anything about him.
Me neither.
Never heard of him before that. I never heard the song, or I never heard of him before the Grammys.
I knew the song. It's in stores. It's on commercials. It's on my radio station. Like the clips of it, like in the background of commercials and shit like that. It's on car commercials. It's on a lot of shit. So I've heard the song over and over again, but I didn't know. You know, I thought it was a band, to be honest with you. I didn't know it was a young kid who sung it. But
yeah,
it's a
I had never.
song.
You gotta think too. I don't listen to. I'm working from home, so I may listen to my music. Most of the time, I listen to jazz because it calms me and helps me focus when I'm working. And when I'm in the car, most of the time I'm listening to jazz or gospel, or like my kind of random Jasmine Sullivan-ish, Marsha Ambrosia. Like that's my style of music.
When last time you got in your car and had like a thug it out day? Like it's got the lyrics is bitches, niggas, pussy, take
what?
These perks.
I tried to listen
like,
to
it's in a gutter day.
I tried to listen to which female artist was it? And was it Meg Thee Stallion?
You know who I think you would like if you drove around and you was conscious of listening to her? Rhapsody. I think you would be like, okay, I like the stuff that she says because she's a dope rapper.
Is it like conscious rap?
I
like a little ratchet rap. Like to be honest, I just don't.
It's not ratchet.
I like a little ratchet rap, but I like.
It's kind of.
But I have to be. I don't like too much though, because then it's like, okay, wait a minute.
It's conscious but street, but rap, like a dude, like a Nas or somebody rapping, but a female.
Nas is not my favorite.
You don't. Why? Because you don't like to follow the lyrics or just the sound? Like, why don't you?
I don't want to read the encyclopedia while I'm listening to rap.
Wow. You want Migos.
No.
That's what you want.
No, I don't want no mumble rap. No. I like Jay-Z. I like Lil Wayne.
Step to the right.
No, I like Meek Mill. Like, I like up north, rap.
Northeast rap.
A little, a little
ratchet and a little pop a nigga right hand every once in a while.
Yeah, no drill rap. I'm very selective.
No drill rap. You just said I like pop a nigga. What you think they sliding?
Well,
Spin the block. What you think they doing?
I'll check out Rhapsody and see. I wanted to check out Lotto, but I don't think I like it. I don't know. That's not my.
I don't think you would like Lotto.
Yeah,
I don't think you would like Lotto.
I tried to listen to JT. It was like, okay, can't do that.
Yeah, I don't think you like that either.
Yeah,
lyrics are a bit ratchet.
Yeah, I'll stick with Jasmine Sullivan and Marsha Ambrosia. And Melanie Fiona's coming out with some new music. That's my lane. I'm okay there.
But the Grammys, like we were talking about, was good this year. It was a good crop of new artists. I hope that goes into next year. You get a good crop of new artists. Music is dope.
Yes, I'll take music over TV any day.
A good song is great, and I'm just watching the Grammys. There was some good songs on there, and again, it wasn't like all white people. And
it was very diverse.
Yeah, who the fuck are these people and why are they winning and all that kind of shit?
No, because again, speaking of the tribute to LA, the Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga, Chef's Kiss. The singing that they did, whoo, Whew, I could listen to that all day.
Bruno Mars' voice, Lady Gaga's voice, yeah, like they really can sing, almost on the verge of singing, like not just singing, they sang.
Yeah.
3 grams.
Oh, your hand a little heavy.
You know who Dank DeMoss is?
I learned who she was. Yes, okay, I didn't know who she was before this incident.
She is a big she's a person who looked like she could be on 600 Pound Life, but she's a rapper. And she called a Lyft to take her somewhere. Obviously, that's what Lyfts do. And the guy who had the Lyft denied her service because he said his car was too small. He didn't say she was too big. He just said, my car is too small. She's suing Lyft, and a lot of people think she got a case here because you denied service for somebody who paid. And it doesn't say anything about, weight capacity in cars and all that kind of shit for Lyfts or Uber. I kind of am on the side of Uber and Lyft is your personal car. And if you pull up to somebody and they got a piss stain on their pants, you can cancel that ride and deny service. If somebody you pull up and they got vomit coming down their shirt, you can cancel that ride and deny service. I think it's a little bit mean and immoral, but I still think you're on the side of you can cancel the service if you don't want it.
I think it's going, well, one, she didn't pay for anything because you don't pay until, if they cancel your ride, then you don't pay. I think.
No, but I mean, you pay and then they come, right?
No, when you order it, your
card is in there.
Yeah, but once they come and cancel, you're not
pay.
Charged. Yeah, I mean, they can reverse the charges. I think where he may or Lyft may be protected, and I'm not saying that again. I think it was a little cruel for him to. And I saw the headline, but I didn't actually watch the video, so I didn't hear what the exchange was. The only way I think they could stand a chance if they say it was for safety reasons, meaning like my seatbelt in my car is not equipped to fit her where she would be safe.
Like you need an extender, like on a plane or something.
Exactly. That's the only way I think that they could, stand a chance for it to be safe.
Do you think she has responsibility because, like, if you're a person her size, say 400 plus, and you go to ride a plane, you need to buy 2 seats. So in ordering a Lyft, you need to get the XL. Or like they have the SUV Ubers, like you have the option to do that on the thing. Now, maybe $8-10 more, but you're not going to be denied. You won't have to even deal with something like this. And being that big, if this girl flew before, she had to deal with this type of confrontation before, because she is that. Have you seen her?
Yeah.
Okay, so she is that big. So you know that if she was on a plane, she had to be in 2 seats because she's that
and
big.
Maybe that's what she does. I mean, she may buy 2 seats, or she may buy first class, where that kind of changes it up. I see the thing with this is too, him saying his car, she's not too big for the car. Let's just acknowledge that.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying the only way I think they would stand a chance is if they say, well, it was for her own safety because she can't fit in the seatbelt. Because technically she could get in a car doesn't have a weight capacity. I mean, now you got to think realistically, at some point you can't fit in the car. At her size, she probably wouldn't be comfortable. The guy was probably concerned about his shocks, but it's one of them things.
You don't think in the clause of the Uber contract you signed to be an Uber or a Lyft, a driver or a participant, that it's your personal car, and somewhere in the line you can deny service? Like if a person is being rowdy to you, if a person shit their pants, you can say no to some rides if you want and be on the legal side.
I think so, but again, if somebody's being rowdy, that's for your safety. If there's concerns about your safety, if somebody's like, defecated on themselves, I think there would be provisions by which you are allowed to deny service. I don't think that fits under those provisions.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying. I think the only way that they could get over with saying, because it's just going to look like discrimination.
But the provisions would have to be listed. If not, then it would be up to the person's car. It would be up to me, because who else is here? I pull up for the ride. If the provisions aren't listed that I can do vomit, piss, shit, and all that stuff, if it's not in there, then it's up to me. It's kind of objective.
Yeah, but I mean, if you talk about your safety, that is objective, because you got to look at it like this. If I'm a little old white lady and I'm pulling up in the hood, this black guy comes and I feel afraid, people can look at it as discrimination. I can look at it like, for my safety, I didn't want to pick this person up. Now, in reverse, if I'm a black woman and I'm going to a neighborhood and I'm picking up this guy and he has on, F nigger shirt and has a Confederate flag or something, I could feel like I'm not picking him up for my safety.
Right.
So it is some subjectivity that's there if that is allowed, but it's just a matter, in her case, your base for not doing it is size discrimination.
That would be subjective to see if you're on the side of if you're legal, because you can deny the ride, but
your reason
is wrong.
Right. Your reason. And again, if it's just size discrimination, then that's where I think Lyft is going to have a problem. But if they say, you know what, this was for her safety because she couldn't fit in the seatbelt, even though we've been in Lyfts and Ubers, nobody ever I put my seatbelt on no matter what, but nobody ever tells you to put make sure you put your seatbelt on. So, I mean, if they want to pull that card, then they could possibly stand a chance. Other than that, she probably will get paid.
Yeah, I think it's morally wrong, but again, you could deny service for other things. In the fine print, and again, if what would be the punishment? You can't be Lyft no more.
Probably not.
Or a warning or something.
Yeah, you you probably just wouldn't. I mean,
because she's suing, could she get a couple $100,000 from Lyft
for discrimination? Who knows? And he was fired, from what I heard. But yeah, so I mean, it probably won't have any lifelong impact on him.
That's crazy. Dank the Moss. Elon has access. Trump gave Elon access to the Treasury payment system, and I looked a little bit into this, and it's the Social Security office and a bunch of government shit that income tax, the IRS, a lot of shit that our money and taxes and stuff goes into. So Trump actually spoke on this and said that he actually did give him access to this. He thinks that he has a great management mind and team and all the companies that he manages, and he thinks that there's a lot of waste in government and they're trying to shrink it, and he actually thinks that he can do a good job of shrinking government. Like, they found some stuff like $43,000 spent on a transgender a play in Bangladesh, $32,000 spent on a clown show that had transgender people in it for a school, like just shit like that they found, and a bunch of other nefarious spending. What your thoughts on not necessarily him, but kind of like subbing that kind of shit out to see if there is fraud and loose spending in government, and what you can do about it? I know it looks bad because it's fucking Elon Musk, but if it was John Baker and he was some like great, numbers guy, you think it would make a difference in shrinking the government?
In theory, I think it sounds great to have a third party look at that, because if you use other politicians, they are not going to want to cut things that are to their benefit or to their constituents' benefit. So using a third party, it doesn't sound like a bad idea, but when you look at who his third party is, which really isn't a third party because he's incorporated him as part of the government as well, I get it. It makes sense. But where I have an issue is, why are all of the things that you're looking to cut related to DEI? Like, that is the most wasteful spending in government. What about the billions of dollars that were sent to Ukraine? I'm sure there are a lot of places within government, a lot of checks that the Treasury are paying out to things and to people and to places that it can be considered wasteful. other than just DEI related, because all of the things that they showed were all like programs geared towards DEI in one capacity or another. And some things they determine, the total program could be eliminated, and that could be millions of dollars in savings. Some programs, okay, if it showed that the total expenses were $1,750,000, then by changing or eliminating this program, the savings could have been $750,000. So you would still be spending that $1 million, and you save the $750,000, which is a huge amount of money. But why are these things the only focus of your savings?
I think because it's what the last administration did over the last 4 years. I think they said they spent like $300 billion on diversity and DEI plans over the last 4 years, and that's what they're trying to take some of it back. I told my friend Eddie today, a place like Aldi, they rolled their shit back overnight. Thought nobody didn't know, but you got people that's waking up, not like us, but people that's waking up and checking these stores' websites, and and saying, oh, at 12 o'clock they erased this shit and it ain't there no more. So Aldi's rolled their shit back, and that's a store for the people. Like, that's a store that's in urban neighborhoods.
I see, and I think it's we have to be careful on how we look at places, and what their intent is, right? Because sometimes they may say, you know what, we don't have to spend, like, sometimes people can say our action speaks louder than words. So just as an example, if let's just use us for an example on a different kind of level, right? We spent money going to therapy, right? We spent money going to therapy. And then it's like, you know what? We're going to pull back, and we're not going to spend that money going to therapy. It doesn't mean we're not going to still do the things and do the work internally. We're just going to save some money by using what we know and incorporating the tools that we've learned to still do the things to be good. We're just not going to pay that extra money to reinforce it. So that could be the ideology that some of these companies have. Like you and I talked earlier about just business models. Businesses go into business to make money. Mm-hmm. And if there's a way that they can cut costs, it doesn't mean that they don't care about the causes anymore. But if Aldi looks, and I'm not capping for Aldi at all, I don't know nothing about Aldi. We shopped at Aldi one time in our 25 years together. So that's not like my store or anything, but I'm just saying, if they look and they say, you know what, we have a diverse staff, we have people in all levels of the company, black, white, women, disabled, transgender, gay, LGBTQIA+, like, our company reflects the diversity within. We have a great employee morale. We're not having any issues or complaints. So maybe this extra money that we're spending, we can cut back on whatever we may be doing. Maybe we have printing costs of, $50,000 a year where we're printing diversity posters to put in all of our stores. Maybe we can save that $50,000 by not printing these posters. Doesn't mean we don't still care about diversity and we don't still care about our employees, but we're just going to find ways to cut costs. And again, I'm not capping for Aldi, but I'm just thinking this could be the ideology of some of these places where they feel like we don't have to wave our flag. We kind of talked about this last time. We don't have to wave our flag and say, look at us. We're equal, we're diverse. And they say, you know what? Ask our employees. Action speaks louder than words. So that could be the message within. I would like to ask all the employees, how they felt about it. So just because some of these companies may, be making some changes. And also what I learned is that some places, because of funding that they may be receiving from like federal funding and federal grants, and that being cut, they may have to just change the language. But again, it doesn't change the mindset.
I kind of agree with that, but you would have to allow the same grace to like the NFL. So the NFL they took in racism out the end zone, which has been there for the last 6 years since Cap. So since 2017, 2018, Cap was in 17. That went up in 2018 in racism in the end zone. So do you allow the same grace to them to say, okay, we're not doing the programming anymore. We can save money on that, on fucking paint, or because that doesn't change the mindset of what's going on inside. You can give that same grace to them, or this will be the first time a sitting president has showed up to the Super Bowl in U.S. history. That could be the reason.
Yeah, I'm not giving the NFL grace for anything, because the NFL has a history of being racist in many ways, and then NFL is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They not you talking about.
So is Target, so is Walmart, so is all these stores.
No, I wasn't saying all of those stores to give them grace. I was just saying, as we're looking at some organizations, I'm not saying.
When you said the big organizations, that's what I thought you was talking about. These big stores that we see on these news is saying we rolling back DEI.
I was just saying we can look at it with a different perspective. Until we know for sure. I'm not capping for these stores.
I agree with you on the NFL, because it's like, what do we save the money for paint? We got to paint the team's names in it anyway.
Exactly. And it's not like they have that on every field for every team. This is just the Super Bowl, right?
No, it's on every field for every team.
Okay, it's paint. Y'all are multi-billion-dollar organizations.
Every game that comes on the NFL, you see that on the field. And racism in the end zone.
Nah,
it's going now.
I'm for the NFL, I would no. I think they're only doing that because of Trump, which that I don't like.
I mean, it could be. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I kind of had that thought that this will be the first time a U.S. sitting president has gone to the Super Bowl, and that's never happened in U.S. history. So it's going to be history that's made if he shows up there. And if all this DEI shit is being rolled back, what better way to say, hey, we're going to greet the president with taking this and racism thing out. Now, I wonder, it's on the back of all the players' helmets and shit and jerseys and stuff. You get to pick that stuff on the back of your helmet. I want to see what that looks like on the day of the Super Bowl.
And let me also say, DEI and racism are two different messages.
Yes.
Because DEI doesn't just relate to us as Black people, or it includes, I saw
it's cousins, though. It ties in.
It's cousins. It's definitely related. Yeah. But DEI also includes, supporting women-owned businesses. Yeah. I saw a thing that showed the top, the populations that DEI benefited the most, and it started with white women, and it went through 8 different populations. The last were Black people. The number 8 was Black people as far as the populations that have benefited through DEI programs. So saying in racism, you can't, I would hate for them to say that is a message that they're removing because of the conversation about ending DEI.
I could see how they're tied in.
I can see how.
Don't get me wrong. End racism is a blunt, staunch, definitive statement.
And that's a black and white thing. When we talk about DEI, that is not black and white. That is including other populations.
But DEI exists because of racism. It's just, it encompasses everybody else too. But it was designed, and it just goes up the escalator from affirmative action. So now we're not just going to say you got to hire blacks. You got to hire women and disabled people and small people, and you can't discriminate against anybody.
Right.
So I get it, but it's first cousins. It's first cousins.
Yeah. I'm not. But you know what? The NFL can do what they want because people still gonna watch football no matter what they do.
Own Sundays and
that's
Thursdays
sad.
And
that's
Mondays.
Sad.
What, did they own Sundays?
No, that people are still going to watch, and I'm including myself because I've been looped into it. But the fact that no matter what they do and what they show and their disrespect and like people before when they were supposed to be boycotting and all that, people still gonna watch football, and I think they know that. They know that.
Yeah, because that's the history of it.
Yeah.
Eggs is high as a motherfucker out here. 100,000 eggs were stolen off a truck. And I'm not gonna say this is black people, but people always find a way to bootleg some shit when they go up. When it's high, whether it be goddamn sneakers, Jordans, PlayStations, whatever the fuck that is in demand, people will, hey man, I knew a truck and it got a flat. and somehow the door opened and it was a lot of them, and we just like took them. So 100,000 eggs were stolen in upstate Pennsylvania, and it's a $40,000 street value. This
That's
inside
crazy.
job, or do you think it's just some dudes that said, "Hey, we know the egg truck because we live in this area and we know the egg truck.
Well,
They
no,
high as shit right now. Let's rob it." Or do you think it's an inside job where it's like, "Yo, well, I drive the egg truck. Y'all can rob it and take my eggs."
I mean, it could be an inside job, but it's also not hard to, because I like sometimes they'll say Eggland's Bastard, like that's one brand, or if they see when the truck is coming to the supermarket, you know, it could be an inside job at the actual market. They say, "Oh, we get an egg delivery tomorrow at 2 p.m." So I mean, it could be an inside job from different points of contact. Or somebody could just be observant, like, "I know that egg truck come here every Wednesday. We gonna grab some eggs." The crazy thing is, they must have came in like a cargo van or something, because 100,000 eggs is a lot of eggs, and they had to be very meticulous not to break the damn eggs. Like you had to be able. Now I don't know how eggs are like I know they come in a carton, but I don't know how
They're
is
probably
that carton
in a crate, so you can just grab a crate of 18 cartons or something like that. That's not too heavy. It's 18 cartons in there, and each crate, weigh 40 pounds, and you can just pick them up. I'm sure it ain't pallets of eggs that they stole, like, because you need pallet jacks and lift trucks and all that shit. But 100,000 eggs is a lot,
right? And you saying a $40,000
street value.
So you talking about $40,000 divided by 100,000. So that's 40 cents an egg, which is so crazy. I calculate the cost of eggs to see what's the cheapest. My sister just bought some eggs, and they were 33 cents a piece, because it was $3.99 for a dozen.
That's nothing. In New York, there was a dozen of eggs for $13.99, and then there was 18 carton for $18.99.
Yeah, and so
that's more than $1 an egg.
Right, but that people, you gotta look.
So we're talking about 40 cents and 33 cents an egg down from Georgia to New Jersey.
No, I'm talking about my sister in Philadelphia.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. So I'm just saying.
New York got eggs for $1 a piece.
I think you gotta look. I mean, eggs are high right now. I'm not gonna front. Eggs are high.
$18.99 for an 18 pack.
That's ridiculous. But we just bought 2 18 packs for $13.
I know. But
so
I'm
you just gotta look.
We know New York is high as shit.
Yeah, you got some stores that are really bringing up the price pretty, and even $3.99 for a dozen is kind of high. I mean, because eggs can go down to like $2.19 a dozen at sometimes.
When I was a little boy, eggs was $1.39.
Yeah, I mean, they always fluctuate, but they are the highest that they've ever been in history. You just gotta shop around, but stealing eggs is wild.
It is.
So you talking about they're selling them for 40 cents an egg? That ain't really a deal.
If they got 100,000 eggs, let's just say 12 eggs. How many dozen of eggs is that? Let's not say they eight. Let's just say they dozens.
So
12 going to 100,000. How many times?
My brain ain't moving that fast. You talking about almost 8,300 dozens.
So 8,300 dozen eggs.
You're not even gonna be able to get rid of all them eggs.
Divided by 40,000. Did I tell you the cost for each dozen?
No.
How do you do that?
I told you it was 40 cents an egg. So 40 cents.
40 cents times 12. That's $4.80 a carton.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying that's high.
See, my brain is working.
Yeah, y'all not even selling them for cheap. So
they're probably selling them for $5 a carton.
That's high. That's all I'm saying. That's high. When you can find them for $3.99 a carton in the market. And that's in Philadelphia. Now,
I mean, upstate Pennsylvania, maybe eggs is higher.
I would think they cheaper because you got more farms and more availability, but I don't know. The fact that they stole 100,000 eggs is crazy. That's crazy. Like to just like
we're gonna
have all these eggs. You're not even gonna be able to get rid of all them.
A side note before we go, the plane crash. Do you know they locked the kid up who posted the video of the plane crash? He worked at the airport. I didn't know that was a crime. You get arrested for that shit. The kid who saw the plane crash, he filmed it and he posted it online. He got arrested.
I didn't know that.
And fired from the airport.
Wow.
And they said, like, you're not supposed to do that. It's a crime. I didn't know that. Like, a catastrophe, you couldn't put it up online.
Well, but it makes me feel like, did he record it or did he steal the security video? Because how would he know to just be recording at that time?
I don't know.
So if he stole the security video and posted it, then I get why he was fired.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't just randomly be recording at that moment.
How you know? You talking about, let's just say you got an airport and 1,000 people is on the tarmac working. How many people you think got their phone out?
Well, that might be why he got fired too. Your phone ain't supposed to be out.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, if 1,000 people is on the tarmac working, doing different jobs, a couple people might be off to the side with their phone or standing there.
But you might be off to the phone texting your shorty like, yo, I'm about to be off in an hour.
And when you see a fireball in the sky, you go.
So did he just record the fireball or he recorded the accident? If he I don't think he recorded the accident.
Maybe it was the accident because he's in jail.
So he probably stole, maybe he was security. Yeah. Then that makes sense because you violated the system.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. Act 2 the podcast, episode 213, coming to a close. Y'all know the platforms. Y'all know who we are. Y'all know where we be at. Type us in. Like, comment, subscribe, share. All that good stuff. We had fun bringing y'all talking shit. Hope y'all like it. Yeah. And if you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace. Oh my God.
I had to give it one time.